Good morning and welcome to today's Daily Doughnut from St George's Church. Today I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about kindness. In Ephesians chapter 4 verse 32 it says this: "Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you." I was reminded of this verse because Alex is reading an autobiography at the moment. It's a book by Doughnut called War Doctor. Doughnut I first heard about a few years ago because I tuned in to Radio 4's Desert Island Discs. I think it was 4 years ago actually. And I just heard this man talking and I was really intrigued to hear his story. He's a doctor who has practiced medicine in some of the most dangerous areas in the world, particularly Syria. And he was talking about one particular incident after he had just returned, I think, from Syria. And basically he was invited to have lunch with the Queen. He's actually seated beside the Queen, and he says this: "The dessert arrived and the Queen turned to me. At first I couldn't hear what she was saying as my hearing had been damaged by a bomb blast near the hospital in Aleppo. She asked me where I'd come from. I suppose she was expecting me to say from Hammersmith or something like that, but I told her I'd recently returned from Aleppo. 'Oh,' she said. 'What was that like?' What was it like? What could I say? My bottom lip started to go and all I wanted to do was to burst into tears. But I held myself together as best I could. I hoped she wouldn't ask me another question about Aleppo. I knew if she did, I would completely lose control.' She looked at me quizzically and touched my hand. She had a quiet word with one of the courtiers, who pointed to a silver box in front of her. I watched as she opened the box, which was full of biscuits. 'These are for the dogs,' she said, breaking one of the biscuits in two and giving me half. We fed the biscuits to the corgis under the table, and for the rest of the lunch she took the lead and chatted about her dogs, how many she had, what their names were, how old they were. All the while we were stroking and petting them, and my anxiety and distress drained away." I was really struck when Doughnut talked about that incident and the kindness and compassion that the Queen showed him at a time of his life that was really difficult. Shortly after that, it talks in the book about how he did go and seek professional help to deal with the trauma that he had been experiencing over the years, and it really helped him recover. I think a lot of these problems have been highlighted because of the fact that we're in lockdown and people's mental health is being affected, and it's something I think that we need to talk about. First of all, we need to say that if you are suffering at the moment and you are concerned about your mental health, then please do speak to someone. There are lots of organisations, telephone lines, people that you can speak to. So I'd really encourage you to do that. And if you don't know where to turn to initially, please do get in contact with us and we can signpost you on to someone who will be able to help you. But the most important thing I think I got from that story was just how completely kind the Queen was to Doughnut on that occasion. And he needed a distraction, and the corgis provided it. Choose kindness. Maybe today, text, email, give someone a ring. Just try to show kindness to someone today. It makes such a difference, both to the person who's on the receiving end of your kindness, and I think it makes a lot of difference to you as well as you show kindness to others. So let's think about that verse again. Ephesians 4, verse 32. "Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you."